how can we diversify or look at different sources of income as missionaries. Now, a short overview, if I might, about what we discussed last week. Why seek different additional sources of income? Now, we see that God has given us that advice through Joseph and through different experiences of prophets in the Bible, where he has put in place for them to diversify, to have different ways of bringing in the money, that we might not only be with one source of income. For Joseph, he advised divide the territory into 5 different regions, protect them from people in charge of those regions, that they might be secure and safe. So we might very well identify that those are different regions or different sources of income that you can diversify and look at the different needs and how they work for the growth and the well-being of Joseph. Now, so he wants us to have these different sources of income to glorify God and to show God's glory and mercy to his people. God blessed the people of Egypt, although they were not believers, they were not the people of God, but through Joseph, God blessed Egypt and gives them these experiences and these guidelines so they might bless others and they might be a path to salvation. Also, from my experience, I have seen and I was taught that when we have different sources of income and we can put the worries or financial worries aside, our ministry, our missionary work is also rewarded. It also amplified. It also allows us to work worry-free and focus on serving God. It allows us to really concentrate on working in our ministry. And of course, it also provides stability to the household. With the financial income, if we have different sources of income, it provides us that kind of stability where it allows our kids and our family members to really be able to enjoy and be able to plan ahead and be able to be a blessing to others. These are some of the reasons why we are looking tonight at the diversification of our income and how we can do this. And today we're going to look at 5 different areas where this can happen and how this can happen. So I'm going to go through these areas very quickly, and then we're going to discuss some of this. So my first advice or my first experience of how to increase our sources of income is to use what we have. Sometimes the best way to make more money is cutting back on what we already spent, or we use better what we already have. And this is an area that many times people say, well, it's not important, but the reality is that God will not bless us with more financial gifts until we are ready to receive them, until we know how to manage them, until we know how to use them to his honor and glory. And here it is where saving and really managing our budget, managing our money can be a big blessing for us. And there can be small things that we can do to really change our perspective on money. Now, in business, we look at what is called the return on investment. So if I'm looking at a source of income, I'm looking how much effort or how much money I'm going to put into something to receive a return, another source of income. So my investments normally will yield a return of, let's say, 5 to 10%. If that is per month, that we're talking about multiplying by 2 our income every year, and that is a very big, a huge income, because we are saying that if I am able to invest 100 baht or $100 right now, and at the end of the year I will have $200, that is in itself a very good income. 10% income per month is very high. Now, in the business sector, now when we look at our savings, for example, I go to the shopping market here in Bangkok, it's called Big C, and I see a kilo of tomato for 35 baht. If I walk out of Big C and I walk a few blocks to the market, I can buy the same tomatoes for maybe 30 baht or 28 baht per kilo. that is a 3 baht savings. That is a 10% savings per kilo. So if I am buying 10 kilos, I am pretty much saving 10% of what I will buy. I'll be saving what 30 baht in right there, walking 2 or 3 blocks away from Big C. Now, if I buy, for example, for 1 week of the use of detergent or laundry, we might buy a small pack for 50 baht, and we have to buy that every week. Now that is 200 baht per month. If I buy a big pack of 5 kilos, it might last me for 2 or 3 months. It will cost me 100 baht. That is a return on my investment of almost 35% month over month. That is better return on my investment than really putting my money on any investment account or putting it to work on a company. So saving that money is part of really an income that we can look at and we can use in our life. So these returns on investment can be multiplied. If we look at food, we could look at clothing. How is that we use our money for our clothes? Do we need to spend thousands of baht, $100 in one pair of shoes? Or is there something that will look as good and will be much cheaper for us? Can I buy one shoe for the whole year? Or maybe I will need to buy 3 or 4 pairs of shoes for the whole year and save some money. Now, it's important for us to be able to calculate and to really have a way of looking at our budget and seeing how our money is being used. Something that we do not calculate, something that we have no way of measuring, is something that we have no way of analyzing if it's working or not. So if I start to really write down my expenditure and write down my savings, I'm able to say, well, look, this month or this week in my groceries, I saved 30 baht in food. In my clothing, instead of buying one shirt for this price, I bought 2 shirts that are a little bit cheaper, and I save 10 baht or I save 20 baht. In the services that I use, I will normally take the car to be washed every week. That is 500 baht or $20 or $10, depending where we wash it. Then I will wash it myself. That is 500 baht that we have saved. And if we can write down those savings and really put that money apart, because oftentimes what happens is that we use the money to bring us those satisfaction on making our lives easier, when in reality, those services or products that are there to make our life easier, they are so we might have more time to be productive. So for example, if I take the BTS or the train, the Sky Train here in Bangkok, and save half an hour on my trip, but I pay 4 times as much in the fare, will it mean that if I would have gone in a bus that takes me maybe half an hour more, have I saved that time? Have I been productive in that 30 minutes? Does that 30 minutes have given me an income of 30 baht? That is the idea that we have to put into looking at our services and our products that we buy, and how is our return on investment. God is asking us to be good stewards, to follow and really try to pinpoint what are the areas where we are spending money, how are we using the money, and how best we can make use of it. I discovered in my own experience, when you start looking at those cents or these nickels, you might say in the US, but you start looking at 1 baht, 2 baht, or some satans that you are saving, and you start actually recording them and keeping them aside for further investment in the future, that money makes a lot in a short period of time, and it's helped you to save more money through other services. For example, sometimes we can buy food in bulk, and we can buy things for 2, 3, or 4 months in advance. The beginning of the pandemic in February, I remember that I had the opportunity to go and buy food uh, for the pandemic. I thought that we were gonna be in our homes and we were able to go out for a couple of months. So I bought food for 2 or 3 months, and I discovered how much money I save, because there were things that were not really gonna go bad, and the price difference of those things were really much. Of course, I was able to buy those items in February, way before maybe 3 or 4 weeks before the pandemic hit and before the stay-at-home orders were issued. So before people will go out and try to pack everything and start to save everything, weeks in advance, I had already saved those items. And since then, I try to always keep my pantry full of food for at least 2 months, and it have allowed me to save quite a bit of money through buying in bulk. So it's something that we can look at. Also, if you look at reusable items, instead of going out when you know you're going to go out, carry a plastic bottle, a plastic and reusable bottle, for example, that you might not have to go and buy a bottle of water for 7, 14 baht. Or sometimes we like to look fancy and buy those expensive 25 baht for 500 milliliters of water, and this is money that we are just spending, or we buy juices and drinks and soft drinks that can also affect our health. So reusable items, look at what things we can buy that can be reusable. For example, here for my work, I use microphones and I use remote controllers and I use different things. Even with my kids, we use a lot of toys that use batteries. And by buying rechargeable batteries, we save quite a bit of money looking at recharging rather than buying batteries all over again. We look at the assets that we use. For example, if we're going to buy a car, we don't need to buy a brand new car that's going to depreciate maybe 20 or 30% right in the first week of ownership. We can look at cars that will not depreciate as much in the long run. So look at cars that are maybe 5 years old or 7 years old, cars that will not lose value. And that's something good here in Thailand, that we don't, we get very good vehicles that keep and hold their value after they are 5 years old. They start to hold their value quite well. And of course, our health. Another source of income, or way that we can save money, is through living a healthy lifestyle. Try to do exercise once in a while. Try to include some things in your diet that will help you to to stay strong. From the start of the pandemic, for example, we started to have vitamin C, vitamin D as part of our daily routine. Consume honey a little bit more, and try to buy more healthy products that although they can be a little bit more expensive, if you balance those expenses properly, they are actually cheaper on the long run. For example, I might substitute, okay, this month I'm gonna buy quinoa, which is much more expensive than rice, for example, but I will cook a little bit of rice with a little bit of quinoa in the rice, or I will use oats to supplement it. So I will try to balance those meals, and I might not eat chicken that month, or I might not eat desserts, or might not eat all the foods that might be more expensive. I will try to eat more beans and cook those beans on Sunday for the whole week and have them frozen and ready to eat during the week. Little items that we can do to save money. Really, the best income is trying to save that money that we already have and be able to account for it. Because oftentimes I say, oh, today, for example, I went to look at to fetch my wife at her work. I went to pick her up and I left early. So I didn't use the highway, the skyway to go to her job, which normally cost me 50 baht. So I went through the normal route, and I reached earlier than usual. So the natural idea, natural thinking that I will used to go through, it was, now I have 5 extra baht. Now I have 50 baht extra that I was supposed to spend on the highway. Now I can use it to go and buy myself a sandwich, go to 7-Eleven and buy something there. And that is some of the ideas that makes our money go away. But if we keep that money and save it aside and record, this is my savings, and I'm putting this aside as one form of income, we can start to really build a little nest egg or a nesting place for us, for our savings. So that is something that we can really do. Two, second form of income that we can have as missionaries. Now, I'm not saying that missionaries, we need to go out and look for jobs. But what I am saying, if you were with me last week, that we're talking about missionaries having different sources of income that do not do not spend time from our work for the church or in our ministries. So these are sources of income that do not involve us spending extra time or extra worries outside of our daily living. The idea for these extra sources of income is to make our lives easier, is to give us less headaches rather than more headaches. And usually time, like one of my teachers used to say in the seminary, he will say, be careful who you marry and look carefully at your investment in choosing a wife, because your wife can really support your ministry. She might be the one that will be your biggest source of income during your ministry. And it is true. I was very fortunate to meet Jenny, and through our lives, we have worked together selling books and selling different materials. Whenever she was able to go into a little business or do something on the side, or even teach or go out in different services, or bring an extra income on the house, she has always been there and willing to do it and looking for it. And when the moment came, and she also started and was able to go out and work and receive a salary that was similar to mine and sometimes even bigger than mine, and was able to really help us on that investment plan and creating that lifestyle that we want to accomplish for serving in the mission field. So the idea is to work together with your mate, with your husband, with your wife, to create that idea of our monthly budget. How we're gonna use our time, how we're gonna use our money. And here are another source of income when we talk about sales and resale of services and goods. Now, on these digital platforms that we are today, it's very easy for us to open an online platform where we can sell from our Facebook page, we can sell from our Instagram, and if we have more products and we want to reach a bigger audience, we can have a website built very easily. And those are one of the areas that our sponsor, community7.org, also helps with. If you go to advent.me, we have a service there sponsored by Community7, where you can create your own website completely for free and have your e-commerce site run there for free. You can start selling goods online in less than a day. You can put whatever products you are selling. Sometimes we can bake some goods at home and we can sell them. Sometimes we have connections and we can sell different products like cheese or different things that we can bring from other areas of Thailand or other areas and the region that can help to really resell. And if we have a platform where we can sell them from online, it can be a good source of income that our spouses or our children can run for us. Also, as ministers or missionaries, we're always encouraged to write. So write a guidebook, write a magazine, write a training manual that you can maybe sell online, that you can or maybe distribute for a donation, and people can make a contribution because of the material and the resources that you are building. Spend time putting down your thoughts and your experience into writing in ebooks, or even if it is in conversation through podcasts, and you can record your voice and actually provide that as well as a service. So use our different avenues online to try to expand our business practices. Maybe us by writing, teaching online. If we can have a course that we can teach, something that will be special for us, if we can record it on weekends, we can record it during our vacation, a course that will last 3 or 4 hours, and we can sell it online. There are a number of platforms that we can sell, and we can put our e-learning tutorials there for free, and they can be sold at a small price with a small income. But again, our goal is not to have big incomes, but have several incomes that will give us a small income, but small worries, small headaches, or no headaches at all. That is my number 2 source of income. Number 3 will be real estate. And here's something that in my experience that is very important, and something that my uncles and my grandfather taught me from ever. You try to save money as early as possible and buy a piece of land, buy a house, build a small room, build 4 walls and a roof somewhere, and have that there. In the future, it will be a lot. It will be valuable for you quite a bit. So my teacher will say, save money as soon as you get out there being a missionary. Try to save money and put that down for an apartment and a house that you can own. And if we have that opportunity, is something that is worth looking at. For example, in our cultures, we have this idea, or this idea, that we have to send money back home every month. So when we send money back home, maybe we can have a percentage of that money, or allocate that money totally for our relatives back home to start building a small house, or extending a house, building an extra room, or saving for getting a loan to buy a land or to buy a house. Something that we have to plan, and as good stewards that God has given us this gift, these talents, and left for us to manage, we need to go and look where to put this money, so they can grow and they can be a blessing to us and a blessing to others. And this is one important source of income that we can look at. Another area that we look also as missionaries to try to have another income is to look at investments. So number 4 will be investments. And in this term, I advise you, or I implore you to be cautious, be careful, because we hear these stories, we go online and we hear these people that have investments in banks, or investment in cryptocurrencies and some new technologies that have come out, and they have tripled their money, or they have quadrupled their monies in very short time. People that have become millionaires out of investments, and that is just not the reality. Investments are not something that you're going to become a millionaire. Especially for us as missionaries, we want things that are long-term, low return, small risk. We don't want to take those big risks. Yes, of course, if we have a lot of money and we put a lot of risk into buying certain stocks, or into buying certain dividends in companies, then we might be able to make big incomes. But that is not our goal. Our goal is to diversify our income and have something that will give us peace of mind, that will not bring us a lot of headaches, and that will be there long-term, a small income, something that we can look at in the long term. And here's also something else that we can use with Community 7, our sponsor. And if you have been with us for a few weeks, you know what Community 7 is, what we do. We have started last year looking at different investment portfolios with some members of Trinity Adventist International Church, and we are confident that we are in the right track, and we have started to use those income that we receive from our investments in different ministries. So if you visit our website, you can see there our involvement in ministries around Thailand. and how we are supporting the work of evangelism in Thailand. And that is just with less than a year of testing and working with the system and being able to really use technology and the financial markets to bring out some small returns that can be expanded. Now, these returns that we have are through memberships, and members are only Seventh-day Adventist individuals that are like-minded individuals who have a heart for ministry and a heart for good stewardship. So individuals that want to put their savings or their contributions aside and allow that money to really grow safely, as well as contribute to evangelism. Our members are Seventh-day Adventists, individuals that are invited to apply for membership, and when they make contributions, when they put their money into the system, into our contribution management system, every month they're receiving an honorarium, or they receive some form of income. Again, this is something that is small, but it's something that is long-term and is safe and secure. And we also have a percentage that is used for evangelism. Of all the income that we have at C7, 60% goes back in honorariums to our members, and 40% is used for evangelism. That's 40%, 20% go directly to evangelistic activities, 20% stays with the church and in other community activity, and 10% stays in the church in community activities, and 10% goes for operation. And that is how we diversify our income. And we have been able to offer websites and different technical assistance to different entities. For example, if you visit the website for the union, SAUM, here in Southeast Asia, their website is managed and operated by Community 7 for free. Our website, for example, in Sarawak Mission, or some of the services rendered to Hope Channel or to Sava Mission have been done through this ministry. And we are able to do this thanks to the work of some of our members who have really contributed. So these members receive honorariums every month, and you can apply as a Seventh-day Adventist church member. You can go to our website at community7.org/memberships or members.community7.org and use the code there on the screen as your invitation code, so we can reference that you heard from us here. And that's, for example, some of the different ways that we can invest and we can use your money. Remember to try to gain some small return with no headaches every year. So we try to aim at anything that is higher than 4% per year. That will be a bank. So if you put your money into a bank, you will receive 2-3% per year. That is about the same amount of our inflation every year. You ideally want to go somewhere that can invest a little bit safer for a 7% per year. What we are aiming at Community 7 is to do at least 10% per year, and with the help of God, maybe something else. But our goal and where we have been targeted at is at 10%. Number 5, and I will take some questions in a minute. Number 5, and last one, is our investment in education. The last source of income that I want to share with you is education. Invest in yourself. You are the best source of income that you have right now. So maximize what you have. You're doing work for a company, or you're working for the mission, if you're working for the union, invest in yourself. Continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to write, continue to develop yourself, and you will be able to increase your income, or even use that knowledge to diversify and find other ways of income, writing books, or other sources that where you can share your experience. More importantly, you can find transfers of different jobs. Most times the increase in salaries, for example, happen when we get a new job. So if I am able to do a course and then apply for a new job position on the same company or different company, normally that new position will come with a higher income. And in our education, we can invest in different formats, in different ways, online. Doesn't have to be university. You don't have to go for an expensive. You don't have to go for expensive degree, master's or doctoral. You can just do a training program, or you can do a short course online. You can buy books. You can read. You can hear different books, and try to grow in your different sources of income. But we have come to the time that I would like to hear from you. So if you are here with us, I thank you everyone for joining us here on Zoom, as well on our different platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. So if you have any questions there, please allow me to know a little bit more about you. Pastor Philip, thank you for being here. Mr. Taff, watching from Bangkok, thank you so much for being here. We have Jose Rios, my dad is here. Hola. Mr. Ian Cordero is also with us here. Pastor Sherwin, Pastor Edam, thank you so much for joining us here. Brother June, it's really a blessing to have you guys here and be able to share. I would like to open it to you. Do you have any comment, any experience that you would like to share? A different source of income, a way for us to diversify our income as missionaries, or a question? Anybody, please allow us, just chat there on the chat box, or you can just unmute your microphone. I'll be happy to hear from you. Anyone? Okay. We have any questions? I'm looking here at our chat as well as on Zoom. Yes, Pastor Sherwin, I see you there.
And if I can still remember, I signed into Patreon, and yeah, I've got Patreon account, but suddenly I forgot it. I have to redeem it. But here right now, lately, I started this new account, not this fake news one, but this 180 seconds to inspire. And I was really surprised with the responses of the people to the page. I just launched it a few months back, and now it got 15,000 plus followers. And it says there, I need to have, I'm eligible for stars, and it got stars right now. So for those people like to subscribe, just do it with buying stars, and then give it to you as the what do you call it, when the content creator and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But is there any other means aside from monetizing it through stars, and to make it more? How can we connect with a Patreon through Facebook? Is it only through YouTube?
No, Patreon is a separate website, so you can just mention it on your live stream or in your videos. You can always give people your Patreon link. Now, what I have seen that is more effective for Patreon is to have also content on that Patreon account that people will also be able to go and look at. So, for example, generally, if I'm not sure, I haven't seen your page, Pastor, but it is, for example, about devotionals. Then in your Patreon account, you might have live devotionals every so often. So people will be able to give you their $1, $2, $5 every month, so they can access something that they don't get everywhere else. So just add something there, some perks for people to give you their something. And it's important for us to be, as missionaries, to really be part of those entities or those kind of activities, to increase our area of influence, and also for us to share. If we are able to donate or to be a Patreon for someone and give $1, 30 baht every month, it's not much, but it starts to add up. A little bit of money, it starts to add up. We want something that is small but doesn't give us too much headaches and is constant. So it's important for us to try to figure out there. For some people, Patreon works because they have perks and they can add more content there that is specific for the people that are supporting them. For other people, they
Right.
will just ask for donations. Other times, what you do is you can just have links to books, depending where your audience is from. If they are from Europe or the US, they buy a lot of books online, so you can have links from Amazon affiliate programs. You can sign up, it's for free. You can sign up for Amazon affiliate program, and every link that you share for a book that you recommend or for audible book that you recommend, if somebody buys that book, you get a percentage of the sale. So those little things that we can do to help.
Thank you, Pastor.
Does that does that answer your question? I don't know if, but
Yeah, yes, because we are new to making some additional incomes. We call it passive incomes through online ministry. This faith news media I'm doing is really focused on our ministry, and this 180 seconds inspire page is really growing because they've seen it as devotionals, but not really a partisan of a certain religion. See, this is what I've noticed right here, right now. But we've led to have Bible study to 17 souls because of this avenue. They get so curious of this page, so they message us. Then after that, they inquired what is our religion,
what's the name of
and then
of the page, Pastor? What's the name of the page?
it's 180 seconds to inspire, just 3 minutes, 3 minutes short videos. You can search it on Facebook, but
I'm trying to search on
on
Facebook.
YouTube, it's God's Glory Project. God's Glory, there's apostrophe to S, God apostrophe S.
Okay,
And
perfect.
yeah, we have, it's really interesting. The best thing that I receive here is the Bible students that really inquires. They come from different places. In fact, and many of them, together with Pastor Brian with Lifting Christ Ministry, because we are partnering together, we recommend a lot of souls already to other pastors closest to them for Bible study, for intensive Bible study, because later we realize that, after we do some online Bible study, they need to have a personal contact with a pastor nearby. So we give them to the pastor nearby. We make connections with those pastors in Davao City and in most places in the Philippines, and some there are also some in Malaysia. So it's really a blessing. This online ministry is really a blessing. More than monetizing, we are also gaining souls. And this is also one thing, Pastor, I'd like to share with you. This we've noticed that when we present Jesus to them in this platform, where they cannot really see right away a partisan of a certain denomination or religion, they will have a chance to be inquisitive, to inquire of what is it and who are we really. And because of that, we've gained a lot of friends and Bible students because of this. So this is just one thing that we noticed in this online ministry. And also, I've noticed Facebook are also giving us incentives, yes, through stars and be a supporter of the page. We've all eligible for that. But here, I'm also asking you, especially with this Patreon thing, because this Patreon is more, like you said, more on perks, and it needs more time to get acquainted with these people. And I think Patreon also needs to build trust. You have to be a friend of them and you have to support them as well. So it's a
Yeah.
give and take relationship there in Patreon.
Yeah, no. The goal is always to give first, is to allow God to be a blessing through us. So I think the best thing that we can do at the beginning for our ministries is to try to really be diligent with the use of money, to really write down everything that we spend and try to use the equipment that we have to the majority of its lifespan of its uses. So for example, when I am ready to buy a new computer, I'll say, okay, now I have to spend, let's say, $500 or $800 to buy a new computer for my ministry. Now, how long will it take me to make back that money? Can I continue doing it with what I have? and how much it will be. So it is something that is very tricky to do, but it's important for us to be responsible in that way. And when people see that, they also start to give, and at the time will it has to come when we ask for the financial commitments. And they always say, when you fight in the ring, you always do left hook, 2, 3, 4, 5, taunting them, and then you do right hook. Not all the time ask for money, ask for money, ask for money. We have to first give a little bit more, give some more, but then always at the end we have to give that right hook. We have to ask, because our ministries need to grow, and money is oftentimes um, a good indicator that we are being blessed. I think God wants to bless us with that income. So we
I
need
think,
to.
Pastor, my mistake here is that, I have to be honest with you. I really built a studio myself, and understanding that the equipment is not really that cheap. You have to understand the Mac, the extra screen, the second screen, the camera, the like. For this time, I have a lot of audio thing, and this is, for example, this one. Okay, this is a G Track Pro, and this is not cheap. This is close to 7K when I bought
Yeah.
this one. And when these people started asking me, how can we help? How can we donate? And I think this is the problem, that I turned down some offers, because I said, you know what, I'm not really used to this. I'm not really
Mhm.
doing this for
Yeah.
just share and like. And then later on I realized that I have to pay for my internet bills. I have to pay for my boosting. I have to a lot are going on
Mhm.
that I don't want to count, because in the first place, if I'm going to count my expenses right here, just to be honest, this is too much already. And I don't want the very reason why I don't want to count, because I don't want my wife to get stressed with the spendings that I have. But then, yes, I have to buy mixers. I have to buy,
Yeah.
a lot, a
But
lot.
pastor,
And this is
pastor,
really
my
expensive.
my my advice to the especially the digital missionaries, is that we need to be very careful with our expenditures, because in technology it can be very high very quickly. So I look at it from the business perspective. I'm a business person first. Well, no, I mean, I'm a pastor first. I'm a business person second. But for example, I have this mic here. This is my first mic. This is not the one I'm using right now. This is a Boya MM1. This is 500 baht,
Yeah.
less than $20. And
I
that
actually
was
started like that one, Pastor, here.
that one. Perfect, correct. That's where you start. That's where you start. that, that's where you start. And really the quality that I see from that small mic to the one that I'm using right now, it is the quality difference in quality is not that much. We know it because we use the special high headphones and everything, but online for our viewers, really is not much. So if I were to go back also and look at my finances earlier on, I will have spent my money a little bit differently also for these things. So the experiences that it's important for us to share with other people that are going into this ministry, for them to see and to be able to form different ways. But pastor, I would like to share with you my contact information. Let me see. You can connect with me on Instagram, on Facebook. That's my WhatsApp there at the top. And we can always share. We only get together here on live every Tuesday, where we can talk about digital ministries. But during the week, feel free to send us a message, and we can see how we can help each other and support each other, because we are all doing God's work.
Actually, who challenged me to do the monetization thing and things like that. It's like your presentation every Thursday, what we are showing. And before that, during the first meeting that we had, when you talk about Patreon, it really challenges me. But that time, not that much, not until now that I realize it. When I'm into online ministry right now, I realize the spending is really crazy, and it
Mhm.
has to have returns. And
Yeah.
yes, you challenge me in so many ways, being practical with expenses and also monetization and things like that. Thank you so much, Pastor.
Mhm. No, no, but thank you so much. God is good. It's a blessing. Thank you. Are there any other questions? I know the time is going very quickly. We have some people there on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitch. Um, Anybody else would like to share or have another source of income that we can look at as missionaries? One other question? Feel free to add in the chat. Let me see. Thank you, Pastor Galbo and family, Ethel and Grace Galbo, for joining us here. We have some friends as well on Twitch. Okay, well, if there are not any other comments, any questions, please feel free to connect with us online. I will try to start sharing more on social media, but follow us there on social media, and also try to connect with Community 7 if you are interested. We have been doing some important work there, and we have focused a lot on the technical part and the financial part of ministry. So I hope that you get a chance to look at that. Feel free to connect with me also if you have any questions. And until next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8, we'll have a new topic. Next week here in Thailand, though, next week we have evangelistic series going on here online next week. So we might not join next week. We might not be live. We will be live on Zoom, but for the evangelistic meeting, not for the Digital Missionary series next week. So next week, the 15th to the 20th, we will be in evangelistic drive online. So I will invite you to share that contact information and to also share that live stream with your friends. So next week we'll take a break on Tuesday, and we'll be back here on the 24th. On the 24th, we'll be back here and we'll talk more about what to do with those small savings. So when I save 500 baht in a month, what should I do with that? What should I do with my small savings? Can my 100 baht, my 500 baht amount to anything in the future? So we're going to talk about how to use our savings in our ministry or for our ministry. So with that topic, we'll come back on November 24th, and I hope to see you all there. With that, I thank everyone for joining us here online on different platforms, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch and Instagram. And I invite you to join us again next week. If you can join us on Zoom, those that are on Zoom, thank you so much for being with us. I thank you all for your